Catch Me If You Can follows teenage fraudster Frank Abagnale Jr., Leonardo DiCaprio, leading an absolutely unbelievable life, but the fakest thing about the movie is Frank's dad. Steven Spielberg's globetrotting movie begins with Frank running away from home following his parents' divorce, and he quickly learns how to make money with schemes that his father, Frank Abagnale Sr., Christopher Walken, taught him. But things get out of hand, as he successfully pretends to be both a doctor and a pilot, cashing millions of dollars worth of checks until he's arrested by the FBI after years on the run. The result is one of the best cat-and-mouse chase movies of all time, but as thrilling and exciting as it is as a whole, Catch Me If You Can also features great scenes of Frank checking in with his father. These scenes are emotionally powerful, partly thanks to the performances of Walken and DiCaprio, and partly thanks to what led to their moments. Every time Frank meets with his father, Frank Sr.'s life is increasingly worse. Interestingly, while the movie is full of sensationalism, it's these scenes with Frank's dad that are actually the most exaggerated. Frank never saw his father again after he ran away. A lot of unbelievable moments happen in Catch Me If You Can, such as Frank passing the bar exam and walking into a hospital and simply getting a job as a doctor, but those are all true. That's why it comes as such a surprise that one of the less spectacular elements of the movie isn't. Frank meets with his father at different points in both of their lives, whether it's when Frank is employed as a pilot or as a lawyer, but in reality, they never saw each other again after Frank ran away from home. Even Frank running away isn't entirely true. In Catch Me If You Can, he runs away when he's given the choice to live with either his father or his mother following their divorce. In reality, Frank actually lived with his father. Walken's portrayal of the real-life person is different, too. Walken's character often dances in the movie, making him out to be a much more positive version of the man. Frank Sr. was also a conman himself and sent Frank to boarding school. Ultimately, all of those reunions never happened, and he wasn't as charming as he's portrayed, making the most realistic moments in the movie the most fabricated. Why Frank's father had a bigger role in the movie. Though Frank Sr.'s role isn't a sensational element of Catch Me If You Can, it is a fundamental one. Frank meeting with his father periodically throughout the movie is what encourages him to do what he does. Frank thinks that money can somehow save his parents' marriage, even when they've been divorced for years. This idea is what gives him purpose, but that ironically blinds him to the fact that both of their lives are getting much worse. Steven Spielberg is known for his sentimentality, and even though the scenes between Frank and his dad bend the truth, it's what makes Catch Me If You Can so engaging and ultimately elevates the story.